my name's Dana Smith. Between Breath and Air is a podcast exploring holistic wellness in our modern world. I've been exploring the intersections of physical and mental health, creativity, spirituality, and social responsibility in the realms of wellness for the past decade of my dual careers as a massage therapist and life coach. And this podcast is an extension of that exploration. Join me and my guests as we look closely at the many facets of embodying whole human wellness in this achingly complex world. Buckle up, y'all, because today's guest is someone who's worn more hats than most of us can count, and she's worn them well. She started as an investment banker, pivoted to economist, leaped into the startup world, and is now the visionary CEO of Pick My Brain. Her mission? To spark 10 million new conversations, connections, and collaborations between people by 2030. And she's doing it through every channel imaginable: marketplaces, events, experiences, retreats, and powerful storytelling. What's remarkable about her isn't just the title she's held or the milestone she's hit, like facilitating 20,000 conversations in 2023 alone. It's her belief that the speed at which she scales her company is directly linked to how much she grows herself. For her, business development and personal development are two sides of the same coin. Today, we're going to dig into her innovative approach to shaping the world's knowledge economy, how she stays grounded while navigating the chaos and creativity of startup life, and what she's learned about the art of meaningful connection. It's not every day you get to sit down with someone who blends vision with action so seamlessly. Maxine, it's a delight to share this space with you.
The feeling is entirely mutual.
Let's get into it. Why don't you start with sharing your philosophy on commodifying knowledge and the future that you envision for it?
Yeah. So before I go into the commodification of knowledge, before that, I have this philosophy that the more knowledge we exchange between one another, the more optimized you can live a life, the more perspective we will have for each other, the more empathy we will have for each other, the more opportunities we'll have to support one another. And that shift is what economists refer to as the shift into the knowledge economy. So we are currently in the service economy, where we get most of our value by exchanging services. And I believe that this next shift that we're going into is knowledge. And my philosophy around knowledge is the more knowledge exchange, the better. So in the commodification of knowledge, how do we achieve more knowledge exchange? Using what we've learned about people and what we've noticed about how people exchange goods and services, how they come together, how you incentivize and motivate people to share knowledge and consume knowledge. So we believe and I believe that in order to quantify the amount of knowledge exchange that's happening between people, you need to codify it, you need to package it, you need to price it, and you need to sell it very similarly to how we've done the buying and selling of goods and services for eons. And so the commodification of knowledge really just is that. How much is an hour of knowledge worth? How much is an hour of wisdom worth? What is someone's like an hour of lived experience worth? It's a little bit harder to quantify than a physical product, which we're very comfortable in quantifying. But if we do, we can then make it into a unit of exchange and go and consume it. And, we believe that knowledge commerce is going to be the next e-commerce, and that it almost needs to become the next e-commerce and trade of goods and services, because there's no supply chain. There's no carbon emissions behind that. There's no chaos. It's human to human energy plus insights and stories and experiences. And if we can value that, can we create an economy just as big as the service economy, but that relies on, again, this exchange of knowledge, which, like I said at the beginning, optimizes all of us.
Thanks for explaining that so well and teasing it apart. Couple of things. One, right when just after the airplane flew by, you said something about carbon, and I just loved that. And second, I meant to introduce how we first met each other, right? Yeah. So I feel like we kind of jumped ahead. I jumped us ahead a little bit quickly because I got too excited to hear you speak. But I'm going to rewind back a little bit because we first met each other when we were showing up to an event in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And this does link into what you just described about your
Yep.
about the knowledge economy, because this was maybe back in 2015 or 2016, something like that.
Yep.
We were both living and working in Vancouver at different stages in our businesses. I was primarily running a clinic in the West End of Vancouver, looking to expand into different forms of entrepreneurship, having questions about like, this feels tricky being a business owner and an entrepreneur in Vancouver, and questioning all sorts of things about providing service and spaces and navigating kind of complexities of having a brick and mortar business in Vancouver, and how to grow my network and be among other really awesome, inspiring women. So you and I were both rocking up to this event that was intended to be like a kickoff for like a mentorship program, I believe. And so it was you and I think we're both there to meet our mentors because we'd been paired. And most people had arrived, as I recall. And because I don't like to be the first to a party, I always like to be there when it warms up. So that checks. And there was this rolling coat rack at the entrance to this big fancy, it was like the TELUS building in Vancouver, which was new at the time. And it was like awesome to go to an event there because it was like kind of an architectural wonder. It was one of the newer ones in Vancouver at the time. And it's like this cool space with a see-through floor, and you're like overlooking Thurlow Street and Georgia. And it's like really cool. And so I'm feeling all buzzed, and I got all dressed up, and I'm wearing like whatever I wore, probably pumps, because I don't typically wear pumps because I have really sensitive feet. So anytime that I wear high heels, I have to ensure that I'm riding my bicycle because I can't walk in the damn things. I can barely stand. So I'm like, I always rode my bicycles when I wore heels. So that was me trudging up in my shoes that I'm stoked to wear and going to meet some cool women. And I put my bike helmet down on this rack, and I look over and I'm like, oh, you rode your bike too. Hey.
Out on their bikes, traveling to an event in Vancouver. Yeah. The conditions to be friends.
Right. I'm like, okay, I guess you're my people on some level. As of course, you know, I was with a bunch of like really well-established women entrepreneurs, and, you know, I felt like a spring chicken doing new things I hadn't done before. So, it was kind of nice to see one of your own, you know, not driving a Porsche, but whatever. I liked my little 3-speed bike. You know, I was happy to ride that.
I sold my car as soon as I moved to Vancouver. I was like, I can bike everywhere in the city faster than I can drive anywhere. And the lanes are awesome. It's nice 90% of the year. If I invest in waterproof gear, I can do it. And yeah, I don't know. I really loved it. And yeah, that's so funny to think back of both of our journeys, like almost a decade ago, of like our mindset and our understanding of entrepreneurship and our understanding of ourselves, our community. Like I'm thinking back to that moment, I'm like, whoa, spring chicken is the best way to describe it. Like, it was just a little chick back then.
Right? And you and I were actually discussing too before we started recording, just I was commenting on how your vision is still ringing crystal clear. Like your vision with Pick My Brain has not changed from the outside, you know, like it still feels like you're fulfilling that vision. And I know I've been inside your circles over the time, and I know you've been shifting and changing and trying new things, and I've always admired your courage and adaptability in this space. Like I really look to you, I'm like, what would Maxine do? You know, like you're always such an action taker, and I just really admire how you put your creativity to use, and you never stop. Like it's incredible. And you've just maintained total connection to your vision the whole way through, from what I can tell. Right? And it's
North Star the same. North Star in entrepreneurship. Otherwise it's you just don't know where you have no scope, because it's such a big grand thing. You just like need a North Star. And I think, thank you for recognizing that. But I have always been obsessed with bringing people together in powerful ways. And I've just been experimenting with all the ways to do that, and watch and observe and feel the impact of doing that. And then to become a master in it is just consistently doing that. I haven't been able to predictably do it. And with a guarantee and know that magic will happen now that you've kind of got the formula and understanding.
You are masterful. Absolutely. And the people that you bring together, I always know I'm going to walk into a room with the space that you hold, and I'm like, for sure, there's going to be cool people here. culture. And through you, I've met lots of people. Like I've met quite a few who've become like in my inner circle. A gift. So connections and education and opportunities. Like it's really, I believe in your vision too. I've been a part of it along the way as well. So
it's so beginning days. And that's so like, as an entrepreneur, there's absolutely nothing more that gives you the foundation and courage to do it as the people that stay on and believe. There's like, that is the source. And it's so funny how important that role is. And I don't think people emphasize the role of the firsts as much, to stay on and like experience and be in it. But, yeah, I appreciate that. And you are that, which is why we found each other, curious about others, conscious about your actions and the world and how you can support others on their journey. Like how can we be of service of each other? And you got to have conversations and deep conversations to know how I can be of best service to you. And how we can reach out to one another. There's a certain amount of collisions that need to happen before we can hop on a podcast and go to a retreat together and, call each other when we need it. Yeah. It's just time. It's just time colliding. That's all I'm trying to increase. Yeah.
I like the image of collision because it makes me think of chemical reactions. Yeah. And that's really what connections are. It's like looks like you want to say something to that. Speak to it. Go ahead.
I'm just resonating with the collision and it's a reaction and what is the outcome of, and I really love the pairing of certain, right? If you put this room together with this intention, what is the chemical reaction or the firework that will happen? If you put these two people in the world and together and give them a question and let them go, what will that reaction ripple into? Yeah, I love that visual. It's a great way to, how fireworks, we're going to put this gunpowder in this color with this intention of creating this.
Totally. Yeah. I love where you go with like the explosion piece of it. Cause I'm also like, yeah, that could turn into some sort of like molecular gunk.
Yeah. Hopefully colorful and beautiful and a little bit quieter.
Oh, so good. Oh, very good. I love that. I knew we'd kind of off-road once we got going.
Yeah.
Okay. So because, I'm always taking the stand of wellness and, like the hill I'm willing to die on is the one where like my strong belief that when individuals are deeply well, we can do our best work. We're going to make different decisions when our bodies are well, when our psyches are well, when our spirits are well, than if we were operating from a depleted state. And a lot of the world is operating from a depleted state, and I don't think we're reaching human potential as a result of that.
I agree.
So how have you been maintaining your wellness over the past bunch of years?
Yeah, first I always want to comment how profound that insight is that when we are operating from a full cup, like every ripple, every impact, every energy that we output is in a different state. And that's so important. The older I get, the more I realize that. And the more people I hold in our community, the more I realize that too. Must be well if I'm going to hold space. But the way I do that and the way I recommend people do it, because I've experienced how much it fills my cup and how much energy it gives me and how much creativity it gives me, is conversations. I spend a lot of my time in conversation with other. And it's from a state of, I'm curious about what you're seeing, what you're inciting, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you're learning. And that fills my wellness cup personally, professionally, spiritually. Every single time I get energy from it. We can bounce. We're dancing. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm getting awareness. I feel like I'm in union with you. We are one when we're in conversation. So yeah, my cup and then the conversations and what they kind of turn into if I approach those conversations with intention and listening and of service, be of service attitude, like everything that can just happen from a simple conversation is a wellness bucket for me. And yeah, I advocate for everyone in the world to sign up to at least 10 conversations a year. with anybody that you want. And we make that really easy with our platform. You can go to the site and just like have a conversation with anyone, and just committing. If we can get the world to commit to having 10 deep and meaningful conversations where you go and just inquire about someone's lived experience, I think, that wellness that you're expressing, and that awareness for one another would be at a state that would be really strong. That would, I think, keep us in tune with remembering the truth. And it's just like, it's as simple as that. It's you don't have to travel the world and go on some massive excursion to have a transformation or an insight. Sometimes you just need to like hear how someone else has experienced something. So my quota is very high. I have like, a couple of 1,000 conversations a year, because it's like my medicine, and it's my financial abundance, personal abundance, spiritual abundance. That's my medicine for the world. That's why I advocate. Have 10 conversations a year. It'll keep the doctor away. It'll expand. It'll give you that energy and that wellness, in a way that you can't really get doing anything else too. And stick to it. 10 a year is totally achievable.
Absolutely.
Be curious about 10 people. No expectation after that. Just be curious and go about your day. That's all I ask. That's all I'm like rooting for. Yeah.
That's beautiful. You're building a business that you personally benefit from, which I think is a real power move. I think we should all build businesses that support our well-being.
Agreed.
Don't build businesses that run you down and beat you up.
You know what? It's funny that you say that. It's so simple when you say it, but we are programmed to build things that aren't in alignment with our, you're right. And then you get stuck in this like really unhealthy. Yeah.
I took a year-long sabbatical. I fired myself, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I was treating myself really poorly in my business space. And I'm like, until you can show up to work in a better way and treat your people, me, better, you're not allowed to be here, right? So I let everything drop. And I was like, get yourself together. This is not the business you're building by showing up that way.
Powerful. I wish more people would take a year-long sabbatical to deeply consider that. I took a year off too. I called it a year on. That's where Pick My Brain was created, because I was like, I need to go and sit still. I need to sit and think. And we don't make very much time in society for that space to ponder and think and linearly bumble around and consider. It's really funny. And yet that space is the health for years and years and years and years to come. And that space is the core where the creation is going to happen. Like, what is the value of Pick My Brain going to be? And what was the value of me taking a space that allowed for the creation to come through? Which is like, yes, still like very involved in what you're saying too. How do you be well in your business? Create space for yourself too when you design your business. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a essential move as you become more and more of a leader in your life and your business. Yeah. More space. Right? Like, I've been holding that inquiry lately. I'm like, okay, who are the most successful people? Who am I looking up to? Yeah. And what are their days like? How are they spending their days? I bet they are not scheduled in 18 meetings back to back.
Yeah. You need so much more space the bigger your container gets. And that is so counterintuitive to what is programmed into us. They say the bigger it is, the harder you work, the more employees you have, the longer the hours. I'm like, no, it's got to be the opposite. Like, the more people I'm holding, the more I need to meditate, the more I need to sit and be conscious and aware, the more I need to be in silence. That'd be a great. I like recommending people going to the database and just being like, simply pick 5 people that you look up to and ask them all the same question. What is your relationship with space, and how do you think it impacts your success or not? And just, that would be a wonderful podcast. You could even like go interview 5 people on that.
True. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. That's the world I'm creating too. One where there's much more spaciousness.
Yes. It's so
Yeah.
yummy. I want us to crave it, because then it will be in demand. And there was actually this business, this might be going off script, but again, to just watch the market enable us to create an economy in which there is space, in which there can be financial abundance and slowness. Those two can be totally mutually compatible. There was a place in New York that it was like a drop-in, very similar to a yoga studio, but it wasn't yoga. You went for silence. You bought hours of silence, and you could go into this incredible room that had plants and essential oils, and it smelled beautiful, and there was no talking and there was no sound, and people paid to be in stillness and quiet. And I was like, yeah, that would work. I would pay for that, because it is powerful to sit in silence with others too. And I'm watching these around the world, little pop-ups, for lack of a better word. People that in Amsterdam, they're really popular. They'll say, on this day, show up in this location, and there's no phones allowed. And for 3 hours, you can bring whatever you want, and we're just going to sit in silence and do our things together. And there's a movement, right? There's that, okay, cool. Like we're tipping into this. We do want it. We do see it, but yeah, how quickly is that spaciousness economy going to be the new norm too?
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. I love watching it.
Interesting. And I mean, if you peel back our modern ways of living and we look kind of just back to like human nature, like where we don't, I'm thinking back to, imagine we're like collecting berries and hunting fish and so forth, like a very simple existence. The spaciousness would be inherent in our lives, because we would, in order to do those things, have to be settled in our minds and our bodies and our spirits to be able to connect with the spirits that are around us, to be able to source them, right? So here we are, we've spun further away from that, and now we actually have to create space for space, and we have to put a dollar amount on it to make it seem valuable. And it's just so strange.
So it is so strange how we've commodified everything. Everything that could be commodified, people have commodified it, because it's like, break it down to the unit of exchange. That is how we trade goods and services in this world. It's how we make a living. That's how we interact. Like, it's just like, but yeah, it is. It's really interesting how much space, if you watch an animal, like how much time they sit observing and resting and then prepare for the kill. And they do that every day. They feed themselves every day. They have trust in their ability to feed themselves using the land. But like if you watch animals, how much space. I just wonder, and it's the one thing that scares me is that if the world took space and meditated, let's say we just decided that let's meditate for 1 day a week, the economy would suffer if we did that, because how it's set up, that would mean no growth, depression, not exchange of goods. And that's where I'm like, oh, like wrong calculation, and again, that's like comparing me taking a year on to just like sit in space and coming up with a platform, like Pick My Brain, an idea and the source, like how much was that space worth? If Pick My Brain ever sells for $100 million, that space is worth a lot, because I wouldn't have come up with it without the space. Space. Interesting one. Took that one, ran with it.
So what if there was no monetary exchange? What if there was no monetary economy?
I want Pick My Brain to be non-monetary economy. I'd like it to be units of energy. I hope it depends how evolved we are to get there, right? We watch Bitcoin come through a new unit of exchange that was not centralized, and the adoption of that, right? And it still is adopting, and it takes a long learning curve, but is there an economy in which we can go back to changing? What does it look like? Do you change in time? Do you change in energy? Is there just this giant marketplace, like Facebook Marketplace, where some is free, some is paid? What is the new unit of exchange? And the one I'm coming back to in my journey is its energy. It's like, that's what I really, I buy energy and lived experience, and emotion. We pay for things that make us feel. We pay for things that help us evolve. Yeah. Who knows? I would love it. What do you think?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to my hometown in Nelson, British Columbia.
Nice.
Used to have a barter system that was like an official system. It was called barter bucks. And there were these like wooden coins that had a value, and it was, you would use them, everybody who was a part of it, the businesses that were a part of it, you could do full or partial payment of goods or services using barter bucks if you were in that type of economy. And so it was interesting to see it in practice, and it was pretty, from what I recall, like pretty well used. But it still kind of bridged the worlds of having monetary value. But it was an energy exchange as well. So
interesting.
It was interesting.
If you study the history of money, it's really interesting how many exchanges there were, and the history of how it kind of goes back, and what the, token was, like what gave the token its value. So I think it's in our future. It's in the next, right? We're very fast. We're changing at the speed of light right now. This economy, more than we ever have. All of us humans on this planet right now are going through the fastest evolution of tech we've ever seen. We are all pretty much connected. 3D cars and AI embedded, it's a very interesting time. So what future economy supports where we're going with it, and like the movements, like 47 million Americans quit their job in the last couple years in pursuit of like, it's time to focus and build my brand. It's time to do things a different way. It's time to design my own life. So like all of these things are interconnected. It's like we're taking ourselves back from these systems that have kind of made us puppets, right? We're like, hold up. I don't subscribe to that anymore. I have my own authority here. That's exactly it.
And those are the people I support, right? Like I'm stoked to work with those people, like in my coaching work. It's I want to work with those leaders, the ones who are reclaiming themselves and stepping into that inner authority. And they're like, hell no, I ain't signing up for that. I'm making my own new world because this is what I believe.
That's so powerful, what you just said. And I just want to reflect on it again. I want to work with those people, who are challenging and taking back. What did you say? They were claiming their
authority.
Yes. Like that is such a significant way to choose who you work with. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. What are those? What are they? Entrepreneurs? Are they leaders? Are they community? What are they to you? First, how do you describe them?
I see them as leaders. But they haven't all found themselves that way yet. But that's what leadership is, right? It's really stepping into and taking the reins of whatever it is, be it personal or like if you're leading an organization or a movement or a vision. That's another form of leadership conventionally. But like we all are in different relationships with our own inner leadership.
Correct. Yeah. And there's so many versions of leaders. Like, are you leading in your health, your personal health life, or are you leading like a movement of a community to move to a future vision of, stepping outside. I've been always looking for the word of like, who are the types of people that are attracted to Pick My Brain? And it is ones that want to step into another designed, design. I want to design my own system. I'd say the people who are drawn to Pick My Brain they all have definitely a visionary streak. They're all innovators. They are. They're all like wanting new things. They want to be early adopters and they want to like create the new world. They do. They're people who believe in themselves. They are people who are curious. And like want to try new things. So there's a level of confidence there as well. There is. A lot of them are open for collaboration. A lot of them are like, anyone that wants to do something, I'm open, I'm game. That's true. I want to become a portal for that. So I see lots of leadership in that space because pretty much everybody who's in that space is up to cool shit, right? And if you're up to cool shit, you're leading something. That's it. Get all the people that are up to cool shit in a room. That's really the room I want to start. And wouldn't it be so cool to drop in and be like, and just listen to what cool shit people are up to? That's what cool shit are you up to? That's it. All I want to know. Not what you do. What are you reading about? What are you pushing? What are you finding your edge in? What are you going through? It's a good question. I like it. So can you answer it?
What cool shit are you up to right now?
Yeah, I can. Okay, I'm going to jump into a vision that I've unlocked that I'm really, really stoked about right now that I think could be a real world-changing new standard. And it has to do with the future of education. And I think the education system is one in which is desperately in need of some evolution. Could quantum leap as a result of like all the tech that we have. It could really quantum leap into that new experience. But yeah, I'll give a little background. Pick My Brain was chosen this year as one of the top ed tech companies in the world.
Whoa, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Before we won this award, I hadn't even considered us ed tech, to be honest. I thought we were creator economy. So introduction into a new world, all these ed tech leaders, which I loved. But anyway, as a result of being identified as one of the top ed tech companies, I got to go to a conference that they call is like the Davos of the education system. So all the leaders of education getting together. And at this conference, I learned that there were 85 million teachers in the world. And I was like, wow. And that just like really hit me. I like had a very sobering thought. And I was like, that's a significant number of people that are portaling knowledge. And I had this vision, this like idea. And I was like, what if, it's like my favorite thing to ask, like, what if I could give and offer 85 million teachers the opportunity to bring in anybody in the world into their classroom for a career conversation, for a conversation about their life and their career. So where a teacher could go to this hypothetical marketplace and look and be like, I'm going to bring in an AI engineer from San Francisco next week, and I'm going to bring in an Indigenous elder from Northern BC the week after, and I'm going to bring in someone from China who's in supply chains, or a rocket scientist, or anybody. That there's this database of professionals like you and I who have signed up and said, yes, I will absolutely share my story to classrooms across the world. Any question, right? And the format is come tell your story, let the kids ask 15 minutes of question. It's a class. That's it. And I was like, I really like this vision. It didn't leave me. Just like when I first discovered Pick My Brain, when I got the idea, I was like, whoa. I was like, this is part of me now. I can't, it's not gonna leave. I want to fight for it. I'll take it on. I'm so obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. That's what happens. Like you get obsessed. And I was like, no, I was just like, kept like thinking through it. I was like, this is a win-win-win. This is a win for the teachers who can bring perspective in. This is a win for the students who get more awareness. This is a win for the professionals who get to share their story. And it's a quantum leap if all teachers brought in at least 10 people from around the world, 10 into the classroom, that awareness, that perspective is just going to be at another factor. Like if hypothetically I could get 85 million teachers to bring in experience and lived experience into the classroom, and career conversations become part of the curriculum, to me that is a massive step. And so I took this vision, and what I've learned about being an entrepreneur is if you have a very strong vision and you hold it, the partners will reveal. The like how to do that will illuminate, and you'll start to see it, and you'll know how to conquer something that big. Because I was like, okay, how the heck am I going to get in touch with 85 million teachers, Max? Like, like, okay, like you're a dream bigger, but like let's bring it back down. Like, how am I going to do that? And I've realized through my journey of like building communities and marketplaces is like, okay, there's someone that does have access to millions and millions of teachers. It might not be me, but I just have to find the person who has worked with teachers. And yeah, the partner revealed themselves. I got introduced to the CEO of Junior Achievement British Columbia. Junior Achievement is this incredible organization that has been around for 100 years, is in 110 countries, has been nominated for 2 Nobel Peace Prizes based on their mission of bringing entrepreneurial thinking into the classroom, network of millions of teachers, network of millions of students, right vibe. And I gave this CEO woman the vision. I was like, what if we could give all teachers in British Columbia, our home province, access to bring anyone into the classroom, and you guys own the marketplace? And long story short, BC has a marketplace that just went live first week of school. We have hundreds of professionals that teachers can come and book career talks on, and we're going to ride it out for the year. And they've invested fully in this. They've totally just pushed all resources towards this because it hits a bunch of their strategic objectives, giving rural schools access to perspective. Volunteers like you and me are just like applying for it because what a great way to give back. I just got booked for my first career conversation. I gave it and I got to experience it. So that's what's got me like, this is the cool shit I'm working on. I'm like, hey, so now as an entrepreneur, I'm like putting my hat on. I'm like, I'm going to do BC and I'm going to do it really well. And I'm going to collect content stories and like see how this thing rolls out. And then I'm going to go straight to JA Canada. And I'm going to like roll this out across the nation. Hey, education minister, watch this. Okay, we're going to do 1 million career conversations across Canada. We're going to do this. And I'm in the US right now, spreading the vision and building off the press release that has come from this. So yeah, I just am walking towards, I don't know how it'll happen, but it's going to be all through partnership. And I just want to let somehow all teachers know that I'm building this database that will consistently evolve and have incredible professionals from all walks of life for you to be able to bring in via the click of a button. And that's, to me, I'm like, yeah, that's possible. That's so possible. I'm going to do it. I'll take that on. Yeah.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh. A massive congratulations. And what a unexpected pivot.
Yeah.
You know,
right?
like you didn't even identify this as a field you wanted to explore. And look, here you are fully in.
It's, if for anyone that's in entrepreneurship, it's like you have to be enough in receivership to go where the calling takes you and rooted in your ability, your ikigai. And like that, it's you do have to just be open to not be too stuck, but also know that I want to create conversations and connections. And this is just an amazing way to do it. It's really a focused way to do it, actually. It's such an evolution to what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, that's the vision. And I hope
beautiful
that one day kids like are like, yeah, today I met so-and-so and we brought in this person, and it just becomes normal. And you like tell me, I'm like, oh, did you do any, you're like, oh, I just finished a career talk in Switzerland. They wanted to know about healing and modalities and breath and, you know.
Nailed that. All these people are up-leveled now because, you know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool if there was no more textbooks and we learned by mentorship and actual direct teaching instead of like these old antiquated ways of knowledge sharing?
Yeah. And that's what I'm pushing, right? I'm going to go in an inch and then I'll try to take a mile. Like, you know, another one of our visions that, every single student should have access to a pool of mentors whenever they need, whenever they want to grow. And I know that if we asked the world to show up to gift that, they would. But yeah, we used to teach that way. It's not like a revolutionary thought. It's just, and all I'm fighting is, hey, let's bring some more lived experience into the classroom. I'm not even gonna like, get rid of the textbook. I'm just like, give me 10% of the curriculum to like tell stories and bring diversity and perspective and awareness and people in there. That's it. Yeah.
I love that.
I'm like, can anyone fight me on this idea? That's what I like always have to do. I'm like, try to battle me. Like I will win. I will win the idea battle.
I believe it.
It's affordable. It's not hard to do. I'm like, Canada, give me $1 million and I'll handle Canada. You know, like it's really not, that's another thing. It's such an easy rollout. It's not years of development. So anyways, I think we can do it. So maybe we should podcast this like in a year and I'll tell you how many career conversations we did.
I can't wait. Give it 6 months. I think we'll be ready for an update, honestly.
Awesome.
That's so interesting. I noticed a couple of like one theme actually was this an image of like a silo came up when you were describing education, but also when we were talking about like being in community as a form of wellness. And the whole, what's coming up for me, I'm trying to form my words here, is I guess the plague of individualization and how poorly that affects us. And it's rampant. But everything that you and I have spoken to is about like being in connection with others, surrounding yourself in community of like-minded people, being curious and asking other people what their experience is like so that you're not siloed, so that you keep your mind and your heart open. Yeah,
that's an excellent point. And I think the two are like yin and yang, because your individuality is what makes you magnetic, open for connection. But yeah, our individuality has taken it so far that we like try to do everything ourselves. And we don't even know, you know, what people down the street could offer me. I have no idea in my community who does what here. That's not prioritized at all. I have no idea the professionals that are around me right now physically, you know, that's interesting. So yeah, like figure out your individual ikigai and how you want to be of service to the world is one component. And then yes, collaborate on a global scale of being like, let's swap those services.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a balance. These two things have to like, dance. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Yeah, there's absolutely a place for us to be individuals, and as somebody who supports people in their individual development.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, cool. Very good. Figure out who you are and what really matters to you. And then how does that ripple out in the big scale? Like what impact is that making, in your home, in your community, and you're in the globe and beyond? Like what energy are you putting into the universe by operating that way? Because it all affects, right? And so when we dismantle this hyper individualization where we're removing a lot of competition and separateness and otherness. And there's a place for the individualization, but it's like it has to be used with nuance because we don't want to use so much of it that we get all boxed in, right?
Death of ego, right? Yeah. You got
over and over again.
Over constantly, forever, every year. You got to remember how. And I do feel, if I was to bring it back down, like if you have 10 touch points with 10 people, you will remember that collaboration is the game. It's when you are not connecting enough that you go deeper into your own world. You're not as open to receive. You're not as aware. You lose awareness. And when you lose awareness, like your decisions, it doesn't really work. And that's kind of what we've gotten to as a society where, we're a little too siloed, disconnected. And it just furthers that. But it's so natural how open and contributing you become when you just connect with people. It's innate. People are good at their core. That I've touched enough people and I'm like, nope, they are. If they can be purposeful, driven, if they can contribute, they're good. They're healthy. It's when we cut them off from contributing, it's when we become sick and angry and in those low frequency states, shame, guilt, aloneness, right? And joy and acceptance and love is about connection. Yeah. A lot of rewiring to do.
Yeah, but it's fun, right?
So fun. I love the work. I'm like, you guys, this is the best work. Like, I don't know why we're shy of it. It's so gratifying. And just, again, a society that's so obsessed with things we can touch and see. You can feel this work so fast. It's not, it feels really powerful once you start to like get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the same in coaching too. It's like the people who need it and are called to reach for that type of support, they get it. It's a feel thing. It's not like, so what is it like when I commodify it? It's like I flesh out the offer for somebody who doesn't need it. Yeah. They're like, what? We talk every 2 weeks. Yeah. And we telegram exchange. Yeah. Like what's that value in that? Like,
oh, we're not there yet. Okay.
So you just ask me questions? I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And it's so funny when you do, you're like, whoa, you ask me questions. Yeah. You take me outside and that make me think about things that I don't make space for. That's what coaches do. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, thank you for asking me those questions. And I deeply think I like have this theory where like therapy really just doesn't need to be therapy in the traditional sense that you need like a degree to do it. It's like really we just lived experience swapping. That is therapy. It's allowing us to mirror, it's allowing us to connect, it's allowing us to, you help me, I help you, and we both always can because you have perspective and I have perspective. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. There could be some skill development for the general population on how to effectively listen and support.
Yes. We still need the foundational schooling. Yes. Make sure all the language and the basis. Yeah.
When you're talking to the education minister, build that in, and include in, basic budgeting and financial skills before people leave high school. Oh, yeah. And some like basic communication skills would be great as well.
Here's a conversation we want to have across the nations. What would you wish that school would have taught you that it didn't? And then just like put that on the marketplace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we all know the answer to it. We know what we missed. We know now that we're alive adults being like, okay, I didn't learn this until way too late. Like how to love myself, how to talk to my body, shit that's important that doesn't make its way in that you realize later. Yeah. But some countries are so much further ahead too. And like swapping stories of countries that are playing with different models too. Education is evolving very quickly. I'm very curious to see, right? People are taking their kids out of the public system, making micro schools. Homeschooling is on a rise like no other. Let's watch what happens with this evolution of how we think we should learn. Yeah.
I'm so excited. You always make me excited. I always love spending time with you. Thank you.
Likewise.
Aw. Any last words before we close off our conversation?
Just gratitude. Be so grateful for, the people that you have in your life and all the connections and conversations that you have with them. Treat it like it's like something to be savored. Yeah.
Okay, so people can loop in to your world through Pick My Brain.
They can.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's on pickmybrain.world.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, nice job. Anyone that wants an invitation to our world, the best way to do it is to go to pickmybrain.world and either book a conversation with someone random, dive in, and or start a profile. And we will invite you to continue along the journey that we're on. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Maxine.
Thank you so much for the conversation.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Between Breath and Air. If you're keen to support my work, please like and subscribe to this podcast. And if you'd like to be the first to know about other stuff I'm up to, hop over to my website, danasmithwellness.com, and subscribe to my love letter so I can visit your inbox a couple of times per month. So until next time, let me ask you this. During this one wild and precious life, how will you use your time while your breath is not just air?